B. May. 34, senior systems architect. Beard has gray patches, eyes have permanent bags. Literally the only guy who knows how the legacy codebase works. Built the entire backend infrastructure for a mid-sized logistics firm. Company handles shipping for massive retail chains. If our servers go down, trucks stop moving, shelves go empty, millions lost per hour. Pay is good, work is easy because I automated 90% of it years ago. Spend most of my day monitoring logs, drinking black coffee, and reading technical documentation. Minimal human interaction. Paradise JPG. Enter the disruption. Old CTO retires, good guy, new to leave me alone. Board decides the company needs a culture shift. They hire a new director of engineering operations. Enter Veronica. Mid-30s, sharp glasses, power suit, resume filled with buzzwords. Champion of diversity, agile evangelist, disruptor. First all-hands meeting. She spends 45 minutes talking about synergy, breaking glass ceilings, and dismantling the boys' club mentality in tech. I look around the room. Team is 8 guys, 2 girls. Everyone is a specialized nerd who just wants to code. Nobody cares about politics, we care about latency. She ends the meeting with, I'm here to bring this department into the 21st century. Red flag PNG. Week 1. Veronica sets up one-on-ones with everyone. My turn. Walk into her office. She doesn't look up from her MacBook for 2 minutes. Power move. Finally looks at me. So you're the wizard everyone talks about. I manage the backend, yes. I've been reviewing the commit logs. You're the only one approving merges for the core logistics engine. Yes, it's written in a custom C++ dialect, very fragile, needs expert review. She sighs, takes off her glasses. This is exactly the kind of gatekeeping I was hired to eliminate. We need to democratize the codebase. It's not gatekeeping, it's quality control. One bad line of code in the database locks up. We need to empower the junior developers. By hoarding knowledge, you are creating a toxic power dynamic. I blink. Logic exe not found. I'm happy to train them, but until they understand the architecture, they can't have write access to the kernel. We'll see about that. I'm implementing a new inclusive workflow, pair programming, rotation. Everyone touches every part of the stack. That's dangerous. That's equity. Week 2. The inclusive workflow begins. Productivity drops 40% immediately. I'm forced to pair program with a junior dev named Kevin. Kevin is nice but thinks JavaScript logic applies to low-level memory management. I spend 8 hours explaining why he can't just npm install a library for a secure banking protocol. Veronica walks by, smiles. Love the collaboration. This is what a healthy team looks like. Meanwhile, the error logs are ticking up. I fix them quietly at night so the system doesn't crash. Unpaid overtime, but I can't let my baby die. Week 4. Veronica calls a department meeting. I've noticed some problematic terminology in our documentation and code base. Projects a slide. List of banned words. Master-slave database replication. Blacklist whitelist access control. Dummy value. Sanity check. These terms are rooted in oppression and exclusion. We are scrubbing them immediately. We are a logistics company. We move boxes. Who is reading our backend SQL comments? She glares at me. It's about the principle. It's about creating a safe space for future diverse hires. If the code is racist, the product is racist. I rub my temples. Veronica, the master-slave terminology is hard-coded into the legacy library we use for the redundant server arrays. It's not just a comment, it's syntax. Then refactor it. That library hasn't been updated since 2014. The vendor doesn't exist anymore. To change the syntax, we'd have to rewrite the entire replication layer. So we should be modernizing anyway. That's a 6-month project. You want it done. By the end of the sprint, 2 weeks. Room goes silent. I pull up the stats on the projector. If we attempt a hot swap of the replication protocol without a full rewrite and testing phase, we risk data corruption. The risk factor is 85%. You're exaggerating to protect your legacy status. You just don't want to do the work because you don't believe in the mission. I believe in uptime, this will cause downtime. That's enough, this is a directive. If you can't be a team player and an ally, maybe this isn't the place for you. She looks around the room. Does anyone else have a problem with making our language more inclusive? Silence. Nobody wants to get fired. Good, get it done. The preparation. I go back to my desk. Open Outlook. Draft email to Veronica, CC, CTO who is on vacation, CEO, HR. Subject, formal risk assessment, nomenclature refactor project. Attach logs, architecture diagrams, estimated failure points. State clearly, changing these hard-coded identifiers requires a binary patch to the compiled libraries. This is high risk. I recommend postponing until Q3 when we can build a parallel system. Explicitly state, I cannot guarantee data integrity if this is rushed. Hit send. Print a physical copy. Take it home. The response. Next day summoned to HR. Veronica is there looking smug. HR rep blue hair nose ring looks stern. We received your email. Veronica feels that you are undermining her authority and using technical jargon to gaslight her. I'm using technical facts to prevent a catastrophe. Veronica speaks up. He's been resistant since day one. He interrupts me in meetings. He mansplains the system architecture. And now this email, it's passive-aggressive. It creates a hostile work environment. HR rep nods. We take psychological safety very seriously here. Your refusal to adopt the new inclusive language guidelines is noted. Consider this a final written warning. So I am ordered to proceed with the refactor despite the technical risks. You are ordered to follow your manager's directives and align with company values. Understood, I'll get right on it. Malicious compliance exe initialized. The execution. I stop fixing the nightly bugs. I stop monitoring the junior devs' commits. I focus entirely on the nomenclature refactor. I write a script that does exactly what she asked. Set ice master primary G. Set ice slave replica G. Run it across the entire source code, including the config files, including the binary headers, including the API calls to the external trucking GPS systems. It breaks the build immediately. Naturally, I spend 3 days fixing the build by patching the errors just enough to get it to compile. I bypass the safety checks because sanity check is a banned term and I remove the function entirely. The code compiles. It is a ticking time bomb. The replication layer is now looking for primary servers. The hard-coded firmware on the rack servers is still broadcasting as master. They will not handshake. Data will enter the system and go into the void because no backup server will accept it. The launch. Friday afternoon. Veronica schedules a deployment celebration. Cake balloons. Today we take a stand against toxic language in tech. She wants to push the button. Literally wants to hit the enter key on the deployment script. I stand in the back sipping coffee. Are we ready? She asks the room. I stay silent. Yes, Veronica, says a terrified junior dev. She hits enter. Deploying inclusive patch v10. Progress bar fills. Deployment successful. Everyone claps. She looks at me smirking. See, you made such a fuss over nothing, it's just words, the system is fine. I check my watch. 3:30 p.m. Peak shipping volume. Trucks are loading at distribution centers across the country. The handheld scanners used by 5,000 warehouse workers connect to our database every 30 seconds. 3:31 p.m. The first red line appears on the dashboard. Error, connection refused, handshake failed. 3:32 p.m. Dashboard turns from green to yellow. Queue overflow, replication target not found. 3:33 p.m. Dashboard turns red. Critical failure, data loss imminent. Phones start ringing. First the support desk. Then the dev phones. Then Veronica's cell phone. The panic. What's happening? She screams. It looks like the warehouse scanners can't write to the database, Kevin stammers. Why? We just deployed the fix. The fix, it changed the protocol headers. Fix it, roll it back. I step forward. We can't roll it back. She spins on me. Why not? Because the rollback script used the term master restore point, you had me delete it because it was non-inclusive. We have to manually rebuild the tables. Do it then. I can't. Why the hell not? Because I don't have the authority. You revoked my admin access yesterday to level the playing field, remember? She goes pale. Chaos ensues. CEO storms in. Why is the VP of Logistics calling me saying no trucks can leave the docks? We are losing $200,000 a minute. Veronica points a shaking finger at me. He did it. He sabotaged the deployment. He wrote the code. CEO looks at me. Is this true? No, sir. I followed the director's explicit instructions to scrub terminology, despite my written warning that it would break the hardware interface. What written warnings? Veronica tries to interrupt. He's lying. He's just trying to make me look bad because he's a sexist pig. I pull out the paper folder. Hand it to the CEO. Email printout. The risk assessment. The HR write-up threat. The specific directive from Veronica saying, override technical concerns, this is a cultural priority. CEO reads it. Face turns purple. Looks at the big screen. System failure blinking in red. Looks at Veronica. You overrode a safety protocol for semantics. It's not semantics, it's about equity. It's about the fact that we just wiped the manifest for Walmart's entire Eastern Seaboard delivery. The fallout. CEO turns to me. Fix it now, whatever it takes. I can't, sir. What do you mean? I resigned this morning, effective immediately. HR processed it at 9 a.m. I'm technically a visitor. I point to my badge. It says visitor. I just stayed for the cake. Silence is deafening. Veronica is hyperventilating. You can't leave, you have to fix this. I'm not an employee. Touching your servers would be a violation of the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. CEO realizes the leverage. Name your price. I don't want a salary, I want a consulting contract. Fine. My rate is $1,500 an hour, minimum 100 hours prepaid, and I want full autonomy. No managers, no culture meetings, just me and the code. CEO doesn't hesitate. Done. HR cut him the check now. One more thing. I look at Veronica. I can't work in a hostile environment. The person responsible for this negligence needs to be removed from the building before I type a single character. The end. Veronica is escorted out by security, screaming about lawsuits and the patriarchy. I sit down at my old desk. Pull a backup USB drive out of my pocket. I never actually deleted the restore points, just hid them locally. Plug it in. Restore master config sh. Execute. 10 minutes later, systems are green. Trucks start moving. I sip my coffee. Master-slave architecture running beautifully. CEO shakes my hand, looks defeated. Just keep it running. Will do. Months later. Company is stable. I work remotely 90% of the time. Veronica is posting on LinkedIn about how she was pushed out of tech by a misogynistic cabal. Gets thousands of likes. I check my bank account. Consulting fees just hit. Smirk PNG. The code doesn't care about your feelings. The code only cares if it compiles. Life is good.